This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
I want to get into a little Bobby McCain because I thought Bobby McCain also talked about something over the weekend that is really important. And it is, I think it's important, but it's going to be hard to execute. And he's one of the guys that could actually execute it. But the question is, will he be able to pull it off in that locker room? Will guys actually respond to him is the thing. And Bobby's one of those guys that you have to respect because Bobby's a slot corner that ended up moving for the team to safety. And his body was not made for it. He even suffered a shoulder injury with it all. But he showed you that kind of leadership and how much he cared for the team that the coaches asked him to do them a favor to move there, and he was willing to do it and sacrifice himself for it. And you've got to respect that, and I know guys in the locker room are going to respect that. So, as training camp gets underway, the Dolphins, the defensive back, Bobby McCain, emphatically stated on Saturday that it's up to him and his fellow NFL players to hold teammates accountable for their actions. He says it's paramount, according to Grant Gordon from NFL.com. He goes, you've got to hold your brothers accountable. As far as stepping out and going to dinner with a lot of people, going to nightclubs, going to bars, being with different women, McCain told the media on Saturday via Josh Tolentino, whatever you bring home, you're bringing to the family. It's definitely going to take a lot of discipline. The most disciplined team will end up laying the most games and being the healthiest at the end of the day. And he's right. And I don't know if they can pull this off in the NFL because every team has a couple of knuckleheads that ruin it for everybody else and give the team bad PR. And when those guys screw up and bring COVID, it's literally going to screw people over and knock them out of the team. So how does Bobby McCain get on a guy for going to the club? How does Bobby McCain get on them for going out with women? What, and are you following all your teammates on social media? And what if guys are smart enough to say, hey, I can't, the Lou Williams thing is teaching people a lesson. Not that you should know that by now, that if you don't want somebody to find out something, don't put it on social media, of course, right? I mean, come on. But the Lou Williams thing by the moron rapper who put out the picture of him and Lou got him in trouble. Well, guys are going to look at that and say, okay, well, I got to go out with this woman. I am not going to put this on social media. I'm going out with 8 of my fellas. I'm not putting this out on social media. So how do you track that? How do you find out about that if you're Bobby McCain? So it sounds great in theory that you want to track your teammates. You want to show some leadership. You want to teach them all of those. He's dropping in some IG models DMs and trying to meet up with her. Pros, a little bit of a window of opportunity is, I told you, they've got wives, they've got girlfriends, they've got cars, they've got mortgages, they've got a lot of things they've got to pay. So now, if they start to police themselves and they make it a thing like, hey, guys, let's be smart, man. Let's go home, hang out with your family. If you need to hang out with somebody from the team. You single guys, hang out together. Don't hang out with strangers. Don't welcome in friends from out of town. Don't do any of that stuff. Let's try to get through this season. And I'll give you something here that might help Bobby McCain. His name is Brian Flores. Because Brian Flores last year created an environment that fought through adversity. And not a lot of coaches can accomplish that. A lot of times when you have adversity, it sinks your ass and you're done. And you lose your team. They don't try. Adam Gase, whatever, all these other type of coaches, and your team's gone. They tune your ass out. Okay? We saw that with Cam Cameron here. Tuned his ass out. It happens. I've witnessed it personally, that players don't care about the coach. But Brian Flores didn't do that last year. He created an environment dude, first 2 games they lost by 4,000 points. At that point, everybody's making fun of you. At that point, you say, I'm turning off the coach. I'm not doing this anymore. And they did. That means these guys are playing for themselves, for each other, for the team. Maybe even for Brian Flores. Think about that. It's pretty cool. So the fact that a lot of these guys might be pumped up about what they accomplished last year, and I know some of you, 5-11, oh, what's that? No, that's a lot, considering they had no talent, and they started off 0-7, and they ended up the season 5-4 in the last 9 games, and they beat a Patriot team that desperately needed that game. Oh, they built something. And now everybody wants to be there. Nobody's dropping out for COVID reasons. People are catching COVID, but they're not going, you know what, I'm passing up on this season. So maybe there's a chance guys bond. Maybe there's a chance they do look out for each other. Maybe there's a chance they sacrifice for each other. That, hey, guys, we're not in a bubble, but let's create our own bubble. We only got to do it for a couple of months. Lord knows your family will be happy seeing you every day, I would imagine, at least. You don't need to go to the club, man. You can go to the club when this thing is done. Why do you want to go to the club anyways? You want to pick up COVID? So you don't need to do that, guys. Hey, let's focus on this. Let's do what's best for us. Young guys, you want to make the team, you want to get a bigger contract, focus on this. Maybe he and others can police it, because obviously Bobby can't do it by himself. He's going to need Fitzpatrick to help police this thing. He's going to need Kyle Van Noy to police this. You know what I'm saying? It can't be just one guy. It has to be several veteran leaders on this team. And then the young guys, like Acura, has to show that kind of maturity. And remember, when your quarterbacks are the most dedicated players on the team, it's going to be a little easier to get others to follow. Okay? I mean, Tom Brady left, and they're not as focused in New England. They're dropping like flies and all that. He goes to Tampa, and nobody's off that gravy train. Everybody. Think about this. The Dolphins have no shot at a title, and everybody's committed to the team. The Bucs have every shot at the title, and everybody's committed to the team. New England loses their guy that has led them to 6 titles, and people are getting off the bandwagon. I'm just saying, maybe Bobby's onto something. Maybe he might be able to do it. Who knows?